All right. I've always wanted to know what it felt like to run down some aisle and have everyone cheer for me. Feels pretty cool, but hey, I'm still here. Yeah, so awesome. Thanks to everyone for coming. I felt a bit out of place since I'm the only boy speaking tonight, so I decided to let my hair out so that I'd fit in a bit more. And now we are here. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Nate Van Haute. I'm a junior at St. Louis University from Omaha, Nebraska, and my majors are English and Spanish. But let's be honest, that was just some basic info about me. That doesn't tell you who I am as a person. I always ask people, if you could tell me one major with no limitations what you'd want to be, what would it be? And mine would probably be Latin American Public Transportation Navigation. Sounds really good, right? Or, this one's my favorite, Urban Street Food Studies with a specific concentration in indecipherable carne. And my philosophy in both of these is the less I know and the more uncomfortable I feel, the better the experience is going to be. And so that transitions into the moment my life changed forever. The moment my life had changed forever was sophomore year. I went down to SLU's brand new law school to meet with the priest who was giving me spiritual direction at the time. His name was Father Chris Benet. And this was like around March or so, and I said, Father, I'm thinking about taking a gap year. I want to take some time and go away from St. Louis University and really find out who it is that I am. And I want to go to Central America to do it. He said, Nate, I don't think it's a good idea. He said, you can really enjoy life here if you have an open mind and a loving heart at all times. So you know what I did? I disregarded all of his advice. Just kidding, just the gap year part. I didn't listen to that. I went to Central America. But I took that advice with me always, the open mind and a loving heart. And so what is an open mind and loving heart? An open mind is completely vulnerable. And an open mind has no expectations. But also, an open mind is truly rooted in the present. An open mind is willing to say yes to everything and roll with it. And that also ties into a loving heart. A loving heart is vulnerable and willing to say yes as well, and be rooted in the present, and truly give of yourself. But most importantly, a loving heart is grateful. Grateful not for just the moment, but most importantly for the people inside of it. And I truly believe that that moment changed me, because now, after that, I found out that having an open mind and a loving heart did not have me seeking all these grandeur moments where I was going to be changed forever, but I realized that every single moment, if appreciated with an open mind and loving heart, could have the impact to change my life forever. So, I know you guys all came here, though, to hear me tell a cool story, so I'm going to give it to you. But I was laying in bed last night thinking about what story I'm going to tell, because I feel like I have some cool ones to tell you guys. So I need a volunteer first. Can someone volunteer? Yeah, we'll go you in the back there. So I'll give you guys three options. I'm going to say three options, and this is going to be like a baseball game. I'm going to say three of them, and you guys give your feedback to her so she can vote and tell me which one I want to tell. First one is called Toma esta ola maje, my first surfing wave in Nicaragua. Second one is a Christmas story, and it's a beautiful story of impoundment, illegal documentation, and government corruption. And the third one is called Moonlight Motorcycle Maintenance in the middle of a foreign country. Yeah. Second one, all right. A beautiful Christmas story. Well, last Christmas, I was down in Nicaragua because I did take that gap year, just like I told you guys. And so at the time I was working on this coffee farm, and I woke up and it was Christmas Day, and I was going to stay with my friend Camilo at his house in Managua. And in Nicaragua, I don't know if has anyone ever been to Nicaragua? Awesome. Well, the thing is about Nicaragua, there's no addresses. You tell someone, all right, what's your address? They say, you're going to go to the Pizza Hut, take a right, and then it'll be 5 blocks up, and then you'll take a left, and you'll get there. And they actually write that down on everything. So Camilo's address is actually in relation to a Pizza Hut, but I went to the wrong Pizza Hut. So I called Camilo. I'm like, man, where's your house? Finally, he tells me, you're at the wrong Pizza Hut, man. You got to go this way. And so I go again. I had a motorcycle at the time. I'm driving along. No one's on the roads. Everyone's with their families. And I see the one thing that a foreigner in a foreign country hates to see when he's on a motorcycle, and that's a cop in the middle of the road just going like this. And I go, shoot. This happened to me multiple times. And I don't know if anyone has ever owned a motorcycle in Nicaragua, but as an American, I'm technically not allowed to own a motorcycle there. So I've been pulled over a few times beforehand, and that, for me to get out of that, usually involved me taking out my license and having a 500 Cordoba bill alongside of it saying, here we go. He looks at it and says, okay, yeah, we're totally good. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm good. I got 500 cord ready for it. He looks at it and he says, oh no, he is not having it. And I'm like, dude, come on, man, it's Christmas. Just let me go. I want to be with my friend. Whatever. So finally, he's so upset, he wants to take my bike and put it in the pound. Whatever. I've never had this experience before, but all right, whatever. Yeah, he takes my license, everything, and I have to follow him on my motorcycle while he drives his to go to this pound. Basically, take away my motorcycle, all this different stuff. Finally, everything ends up, okay, I just got to go pay this big fine, and I'll get my motorcycle back. Luckily, though, my friend Camilo's mom used to work in what would be the equivalent of the Supreme Court in Nicaragua. So she comes home and she's like, mijo, it's so good to see you, all this stuff. And she said, don't worry about the motorcycle. We'll get it back tomorrow. So I wake up the next day and she says, all right, Nate, come with me. We're going to go today and we're going to go meet with my friend. And I find out that her friend is actually the Minister of Internal Affairs of Nicaragua. So I'm like freaking out because I just need my bike back, honestly, and I'll pay the fine. It's not a huge deal. Anyways, we go meet with this lady who actually ends up being the boss of the chief of police. So she writes me a letter saying, okay, yeah, take this document. He'll see my signature and you can get your bike back. So we take it to the chief of police. He says the same thing. And I'm just like, I just need my bike back. I don't need to be going through all of these big, powerful people to do it. And at the same time, I'm kind of scared, like, I've overstayed my visa by just a little bit. I've been bribing cops this whole time, all this stuff. But, so I'm, like, still really nervous, like, shaking. Finally, I go to the pound and get my bike back. I'm on my way, and I feel great again. And in those moments, I truly felt happy. Even though I had horrible luck, I was constantly reminding myself to have this open mind and loving heart so that I could enjoy every single moment and enjoy the journey, but not the destination. And so, when I was coming back in May, I was pretty sad. I didn't have any more money, and I knew I had to come back and work. But I was so enthusiastic about life. And so I thought to myself, the best way to continue doing this and continue that enthusiasm would be to surround myself with enthusiastic people. And so I went looking really far and wide, and I finally found them. But the only thing that sucked was they were 7 and 8-year-olds, and I was a camp counselor. So as you guys know, the best thing that kids do is constantly have an open mind and a loving heart. They're always vulnerable, and they're always there in the present moment, always wide-eyed, looking for something to grab their attention. And I wanted to replicate that. And so I think now that I had this mindset, all these simple moments were also affecting me. And I think of one simple moment that I carry with me forever that wasn't profound or, giving a cop 500 Cordoba, but it was this little kid. And I was asking these kids about nicknames. And I said, do any of you guys have nicknames? And, the kids, they all want to have the attention. Like, oh, my mom calls me Minecraft, or my mom calls me Chubby Cheese. And so I'm just, laughing, and these kids are so funny. I'm walking away, and this kid comes up to me and pulls on my shirt. And he says, I got a nickname, but I didn't want to say it in front of everyone else. And I'm like, oh, okay, man, what's the nickname? And at the same time, I'm constantly trying to remind myself to be there with him in his present moment so I can truly enjoy it. And he goes to me, my mom calls me Coke in the head because I got a big head. And I started cracking up. And I thought to that, well, man, what am I going to say to this kid? He actually does have a giant head. And so I say, man, well, the reason you got such a giant head is because your brain is so big. And me being able to be there, vulnerable, not afraid to make a fool of myself and truly love him, made an impact on me. Because every time I'm going through life upset, all I think is of Coke in the head. And things are great again. And I realize that life is meant to be enjoyed. But he, too, I hope one day, well, I don't hope he is insecure, but if he ever is insecure about his head size, he'll think of me and think, oh, well, the reason my head is bigger is because I got a pretty big brain. So I feel so happy that I'm now here in the moment. And so I want to do one quick thing to show everyone what it is to really enjoy the moment, and that is mindful meditation, taking a breath in and a breath out and repeating an open mind and an open heart to truly root yourself. And if you truly do that, you will realize that not just the grandeur moments are wonderful, but simple moments are wonderful, just like this one.